hope you're all doing amazing out there, and in today's video, I will be covering 10 vehicles that you should own in GTA Online. Now, unlike other lists that talk about 10 vehicles you should own, it's not going to be focused towards strictly vehicles that are beneficial to you in the long run, like grinding money, avoiding griefers, to help you in any way possible, but instead it's going to be 10 vehicles that I personally use a lot and just love using them. And some of them are beneficial, not all of them, so it's going to be kind of like half and half. Half of them are going to be ones that I just enjoy driving around sometimes, and the other half is going to be ones that I use to get money sometimes, but are not going to be useful in every situation. Now, these are going to be in a particular order from least expensive to most expensive, so be warned, some of these vehicles are extremely pricey. But with all that being said, let's move on to the very first vehicle I recommend buying. Now, the first vehicle up on this list is actually free. It is the Acid Lab. This isn't something that I drive around, but it's more of a way to make money. If you're a beginner in GTA, it's extremely useful, and all you have to do is the last dose missions. I'm not exactly sure how many you have to do. I think it might be 6 or something like that, but this is not going to be telling you how to do them or where you find them or anything. So if you just look it up, they're pretty easy to do, but it'll take you a lengthy amount of time, probably like a whole day, in order to get the Acid Lab for free. But it's just really convenient. It's a solo friendly business. You don't need multiple people to run it. It's passive as well, so if you get some supplies, it'll just do its own thing, and it's great. And you could also do even more missions to unlock upgrades for it. Now, the upgrades are extremely useful because the more upgrades you have for a business, the better it'll do. But if you're just starting out, it's just something I would get, kind of hold on to it, let it do its thing, and whenever it has money, then sell the product. It doesn't need to have the max upgrades or anything like that, but in the long run, eventually when you get the money, you should definitely invest into getting every upgrade you can for this thing. Now, the next vehicle up is the Ocelot Virtue. Now, this is also free, but instead of completing 6 last dose missions, you have to complete every single last dose and first dose missions. They take a while. They would probably take you, if you're just a casual player, maybe around a week to complete all of this, but it's a free car. Now, originally, I was going to just include any Amani Tech vehicle, and if you don't know what an Amani Tech vehicle is it's like a set amount of cars that are able to get upgrades that are like a missile lock-on jammer, so no one can actually lock onto you in a public session, so you'll basically be free of any missiles coming at you, and also can survive around like 6 homing missiles before blowing up, and you can put proximity mines down that'll make people spin out of control that are behind you, which is just amazing. So for this car being free, and it's nearly $3 million if you were to buy it, it's just a great all-around car. I would say the only downside of this thing is that it's electric. So its top speed isn't really that high or anything. It's very quick off the line, but that's really all it is. It's just quick. It's not fast, but I mean, it's free. You may as well try and get it if you can. Now we have the oldest vehicle on this list, which is the Bati 801. Now, of course, it's a motorcycle. Now, we really wanted to include a motorcycle on this list just because, well, it's convenient to have one. You don't always need one, but in the situations where it calls for a motorcycle or you just want to drive one around, this is a great one to get. It's only $15,000, which is extremely affordable. Almost any new player can grab it, and it's great. It's extremely fast for it being one of the release vehicles of the game, and how cheap it is. So, if you want to have a motorcycle early on and you don't know which one to get, this is my recommendation for almost anybody. And there are other motorcycles that are much faster than this thing, but they're usually like $1 million, $2 million. So I wouldn't recommend buying those. They're not really needed. They're just very quick. But if you want to invest in a good motorcycle, this is definitely the one I would recommend buying. Now we have the Kamacho, which is an extremely good off-road vehicle. Now, for how cheap this is, which is only $345,000, you are getting so much out of this. A lot of off-road vehicles that are good tend to be like $1 million or $2 million, and this is under $500,000, which is amazing. Now, I think it's one of the top off-road vehicles in this entire game, so that definitely says something, that it's extremely good for its price and performance ratio. Now, this thing will climb up almost any mountain, almost at a 90-degree angle as well. When you're literally going uphill, it will start gaining speed, which is absurd. Now, this also has a lot of customization as well. Some of the most customization I think I've seen in a vehicle that has came out around this time period. I don't exactly know what time it came out, but it was pretty early on in the game. But that's really all there is for it. It's just a really good off-road vehicle, and if you want to pick it up, it's extremely cheap for today's standards. Now we have the last vehicle that is going to be under $1 million, so, after this is going to be pretty pricey. But right here we have the Armored Kuruma. If you've seen most top 10 vehicles you should own type of videos, a lot of people either mention this or talk about it in some way, because it is so good. For it only being $525,000, I think that's a trade price. I don't really know if it has a trade price or not, but it's still really cheap. Now, this has bulletproof windows, 100%. Unlike other vehicles that have some bulletproof windows, theirs will break in like 16 to 50 bullets, somewhere in that area. And this almost has 100% resistance to bullets. Sometimes the bullets will get through the windows, but it's extremely hard. If you're in like a situation where there's a lot of NPCs you have to kill, or just a bunch of people shooting at you, they really won't be able to kill you in this thing. The only thing that really can destroy this is, of course, explosives. It can't survive any of those, but I feel like if you're going to use this, you're not using it for the purpose of surviving explosives, but going into expecting a lot of people shooting at you. So it's an amazing choice if you want to have a vehicle like, you know, can't be penetrated by bullets at all. Alright, so now we made the jump all the way up to $1.8 million, and this is going to be the Sparrow. Now, this is also on a lot of top 10 vehicle lists, just because of how convenient it is. Now, the price tag is a little bit of a lie. You will also have to buy the Kasaka submarine, which is like another $2.2 million. So at the bare minimum, you'll have to spend like $4 million to get the Sparrow. But just talking about it alone, it's only 1.8. Now, why do you get this? Well, that's for the simple fact that it's one of the most convenient vehicles to get. You could spawn it in right next to you on the road. No matter the situation, it will almost always spawn directly next to you, which is amazing. Now, I think this is one of the fastest helicopters in the game, if not the fastest. Now, I think it's the weakest helicopter, though. So if you'll accidentally, like, hit a building going really slow, it probably will start smoking or have a high chance of blowing up. And of course, it can't survive any rockets, so I don't expect it to do that. It does have countermeasures on it, though. So you can have like shaft, which prevents rockets locking onto you. I think you can have smoke, which don't really know what that does. But you could also have flares, which have the rockets go towards those instead of you. And that's kind of it. It also does have homing missiles that are not very good. But I mean, you know, if you're going to go out of your way to do KO Perico, which is a heist, the best heist in the game if you're doing solo, well, this is just the thing you want to have. It's too convenient, and it's a part of the Kasaka submarine. So if you're going to do the heist, you got to have this to do it right. Now we have a car that I unfortunately did not know that got nerfed, it seems like, which is the LM87. This has a hefty price tag of $2.9 million, so at the bare minimum, you're going to be spending $3 million if you upgrade it to its max. This thing, the reason why I included it on this list is because it was the fastest land vehicle in the game. If you're not counting next gen, HSW vehicles, those are broken as hell. I think this, before its nerf, it could, I believe, go all the way up to like 180 miles an hour. Now, I think now it tops out at like 140, but it's still extremely quick. Now, the reason why it goes so fast is because of something called knocking in the game. It's going to be really hard to explain this to someone that doesn't know, but essentially in GTA, the more your car like hits the ground when you're going really fast, so if you're going over like bumps and stuff like that in the game, your car will like speed up. I don't know what it's called in the game. I can't remember. It does have a specific name, but if you just listen to the clip right now, you should have heard that knocking sound. And most cars that have that will actually end up going faster the more you drive, but it has to be on like a bumpy-ish road. But that's kind of it for the LM87. It does suck that it was nerfed, but it's still an extremely fast car if you want to have a quick car off the line. So now we have arguably one of the most convenient vehicles brought into GTA Online, which is the Toreador. Now this definitely has a hefty price tag, which is $3.66 million, but that is definitely justified. And you might ask, why is that justified? Well, in the gameplay you can see that I'm boosting with it, so it's extremely quick. Out of the boost cars, I think it might have one of the weakest boosts in the game, so it's not that fast compared to other cars that have boost, but the boost recharge is extremely fast. So you're going to be constantly going at its max speed, which I think is 140 miles per hour almost at all times when you're using it. But that isn't the main feature about this. What is the underwater feature. This is actually a submarine car, so anything involving underwater activities, this is your best option. It's extremely fast underwater. Anything that involves you picking up things underwater, you don't even have to get out of it, and it's just great. But also, it has homing missiles, which are extremely good in this game. I think it also has unlimited missiles as well, and the tracking on them is really good. What that means is it'll almost always hit the target, but not every single time. So sometimes it will miss. It can also, I think, survive up to like 5 homing missiles. I haven't tested it, so I don't quite know. But its armor is pretty decent. Not the best in the game. Now, if all that wasn't enough, this thing also comes with everything already on it when you buy it. And all you have to do to upgrade it is go in Los Santos Customs. So it'll have missiles, submarine mode, boost, machine guns, all of it when you buy it. And then you just have to add engine upgrades, turbo, transmission, all that stuff in Los Santos Customs. Now, the reason why that's so good is because most weaponized vehicles, you need a weaponized workshop, which, if I'm being honest, that's kind of bullshit, because you have to spend another, like, $1 million to $2 million just to get one of those, and it sucks, but this just has everything going for it. But that was the Toreador. Definitely kind of a lengthy explanation, but it just has so many good benefits that I would recommend buying this as soon as you can. But unlike the Toreador, the Scramjet, which is the next vehicle up here, is definitely not convenient to have. It does have a hefty price tag of $4 million, which is a lot, and I would not recommend buying this unless you're well established in GTA Online, because it's not really that useful, to be honest. You can see in the gameplay that I'm kind of flying with it. It does have a jump and an extremely long boost, so you can go really high with it, and it's really just meant to be fun. It also does come with missiles and machine guns, and the missiles are extremely good. They almost never miss their targets. But this also doesn't have any armor, so you can't survive any rockets or anything. And as I said, it's mainly just there for fun. So when you have money, I would recommend getting this. If you just want to have fun on GTA Online, if you're bored or whatever, it's just great to have. There is 2 downsides to this. One, you can't actually upgrade it in Los Angeles Customs like the Toreador. You need a weaponized workshop. But when you do buy it, it already comes with all the weapons and stuff. So you don't need to get a weaponized workshop, but if you want to, customize all that, you do need it. And the second thing, this thing really, really likes landing in pools. And you can see in the gameplay, that's exactly what happened. I landed in a pool. And that's kind of it for the Scramjet. Fun vehicle, but I would not buy it if you don't have money. Now we have the most expensive vehicle in this entire video. One of the most expensive in the entire game. And that is the Raiju. This is the best aircraft, period. That's it. Best aircraft ever. It is so good. It has hover mode. It's a jet that goes really, really fast. I think it's also the fastest in the game. It has homing missiles that are okay. It has explosive cannon, which is crazy. But for it being as good as it is, it has a price tag of like $7 million. But if you want to upgrade it, you're gonna have to spend at a bare minimum $10 million, because you need a hangar with I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a workshop to customize your aircraft, which is another $1 million. So I mean, if you want to get this when you're well established, you can. That $10 million price tag, I guess you could say it is justified because of how good it is. But at the same time, that is a lot of money you're going to be dumping into a vehicle that in most cases you might not be using if you're like me and like driving on the ground. But it's so damn good in the air, you're going to want it no matter what. But that was really the entire list. That went by pretty damn fast. Now, if you do get any suggestions for what I should do for a next video, like a tutorial, I could do like a challenge for like a custom race or something like that, let me know, because I don't really know what to do for GTA videos. I know I could do a lot of tutorials explaining how to run certain businesses or anything like that, but I don't really want to copy what other people do. I mean, I could probably explain it a little bit better and go in a lot of detail, but I don't want to do videos that it's like a one-time watch and it's done. So if you got any good suggestions that'll be a long-term benefit on this channel that people can always come to and watch, let me know. But with that, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you guys in the next GTA video I make. Peace out. I love every single one of you.